Hi everyone, it's Lynn with new crew chiefs for 2023. 10 umpires retired following the 2022 season, and within that list were 7 crew chiefs. We announced 10 new hires earlier this offseason, and now as spring training is underway, we bring you the 7 crew chief promotions. We're going to structure this somewhat similarly to how we did the new hires, in a table with some replay and plate scores. MLB promoted the following umpires to the role of crew chief for 2023. They are Lance Barksdale, Dan Bellino, Chris Conroy, James Hoy, Adrian Johnson, Alan Porter, and Todd Tishner. Of this list, Lance Barksdale is the eldest and Dan Bellino the youngest. Barksdale similarly has the most MLB experience of the bunch, while Chris Conroy and Alan Porter are the freshest coming into the league in 2010. I guess since Porter technically debuted in April and Conroy debuted in September, that makes Conroy the freshest of the bunch. All have worked at least one World Series except for Adrian Johnson, while in replay overturn weight, we ranked and rated the umpires relative to the 19 crew chiefs on staff. The best or most seldom overturn of the new crew chiefs was Lance Barksdale, while Chris Conroy was overturned at the greatest rate of this group of 7. For plate scores, Lance Barksdale had the highest plate score accuracy rating of all 19 crew chiefs on staff, while Adrian Johnson placed 15th of the 19th, which is the lowest score of this particularly newly promoted cohort. And there you have it. Those are the new crew chiefs for 2023. Now, what I'm going to talk about analytically and in sort of a review capability is there's a nexus point. What I mean by that is as you go further in your career, you gain more experience. So that goes up. But there's also a point, Mark Williams, the Boston University study found this out quite well, that there's a point in your career where you reach your apex of on-field skill level. And then that starts to decline after, well, the point is that Major League Baseball generally tends to hire people to be crew chiefs, promote people to be crew chiefs when they reach that intersection. So with these 7 hires, you hope that they have all reached the intersection, or they're somewhere in that realm where the experience is, yeah, that's pretty good. Their on-field skill level is still pretty good. And that they can go forth and transition into a more supervisory capability and capability. Lance Barksdale, as you see, has the best skill. Dan Bellino's super good at rules knowledge and things like that. And so you mix and match with all these umpires. They're not all going to work on the field together. They're not, because they all have different crews. But throughout the 19 crews, you want sort of a best fit average that sort of balances everything out, has a well-rounded approach for all of baseball. One final note, and I know that everyone loves talking about this. Angel Hernandez is an example of someone. Remember, his lawsuit alleged that he should have been hired in the mid-2010s or early 2010s, and they passed him over racial discrimination. And we look at the statistics back then, and Angel's statistics, his career trajectory, has done rather what we would expect from someone who is of crew chief age. He reached an apex, he hit it, he was not hired as crew chief, and he's experiencing, as all umpires do, the declination of the skill curve that you would expect to see after crew chief hiring. The difference, of course, is that when we talk about Angel Hernandez now, people use his 2022 numbers to talk about why he shouldn't be hired or shouldn't have been hired as a crew chief back in 2013, which is kind of unfair to every crew chief, because you could do that to every crew chief, use their nearing retirement numbers to talk about why they shouldn't have been hired 10, 15 years ago when they were skillfully better at on-field accuracy, things like that. I digress. I ramble. Visit us online at closecallsports.com, Twitter and Facebook at closecallsports. Subscribe. We'll see you on the site. Welcome aboard to these 7 crew chiefs.